Good morning, Angel and Julia. Apologizing to narcissist. I was telling Angela a few days before I left and throughout my marriage, or what, if you can call it that way, after all these blames and attacks of like telling me how horrible I am and how I did this and that, I apologized, but I didn't really. I apologized one day and I said, well, I'm sorry I did this and that. But in reality, I wasn't feeling, it just wasn't feeling right, because first of all, now that I look back at it, that was my reaction to narcissists. Horrible. They inflict you, they push you against the wall, that you just react. That was my reaction to his horrendous behavior. And I remember I apologized, and my daughter came and said, well, why are you apologizing? You didn't do anything wrong here. And I said, well, I have to apologize for my part. And but I still didn't quite feel right, because it wasn't, even though I didn't understand back then what really was going on, but it just didn't feel like, because I knew that I didn't want to do those things, and I didn't try to be nasty, and I didn't want to be what I was told I was.
Yep. They push you to the point. It's like they corner you, whether it's emotionally or physically. They corner you and they push you to the point where you have to fight your way out of that corner, or you have to die. It truly is one or the other. So you fight your way out, and then they blame you that you're this horrible person because of what you did to fight your way out of that corner, whether it's with words or whether it's physically fighting your way out. Whatever did you do to try to survive at that point? They push you to that point of desperation, to where you react, so that then they can make you feel that you are the horrible human being, because look at your behavior. Look at how horrible you are. And so these are things that we just, once you've physically walked away, that you have to walk away from mentally and emotionally, the belief that you are that horrible person because you reacted, or basically you fought your way out of that corner, and maybe it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. Mm-hmm. But guess what? You fought your way out of that corner, or you wouldn't be standing here right now. So it's like, okay, somehow we have to deal with the fact that ability or that determination to live does not make us a horrible human being. It makes them a horrible human being for pushing us to the point where we had to fight our way out or die. Okay? And they used it against us to make us think that we were now a horrible person. So these are things that we have to look at and face and overcome, these belief systems that have been embedded in us somehow. And it's one thing I have found, because I deal with a lot of people who have been through these narcissistic entanglements. I will not call it a relationship. It is an entanglement for the purpose of someone sucking life out of you to feel alive. Okay? But once you come out of that, I find that the people who've been through these types of things have a very difficult time apologizing to anyone or admitting that they are wrong. First of all, they have always been wrong. In that other situation, they were blamed for everything in an unrighteous way, unjustly. Mm-hmm. And so there's something in you that says, I just can't be wrong, because I was always wrong, and I don't want to be the one that's wrong all the time. I just don't want that identity. So we have a hard time saying when we actually have done something wrong, we have overreacted, or we have lashed out at somebody that didn't deserve it. But we've got this anger we're trying to deal with and get out. And sometimes things happen. So it's hard to say that you're sorry, because you've always been unjustly blamed for everything. And the other reason why it's difficult to apologize is because all the times that we tried to apologize in the narcissistic nightmare we were in, that was used by the other person to stand on top of you and to say, and to prove they're the good ones, they're the right ones, and you're the piece of crap. So
And they pile guilt on top of the guilt on top
Guilt
of
on yeah. You go try to apologize, and then they use that to prove that you're a horrible person, and they were right all along, to prove that they're right. So now you get out in the real world and you try to make real relationships with people who are loving and kind and good and really do love you. And you start destroying relationships because you can't apologize when you've been a jerk, when you've overstepped your bounds, when you've overreacted, when you've attacked them when they didn't deserve to be attacked. Now you can't say you're sorry because you don't want to be the wrong one. You don't want them to rub it in your face. You don't want to go through that. And so you just try, it's something that we have to overcome. And we also have to overcome the belief that we're horrible. We have this horrible side of ourselves because we chose to fight our way out of a corner.
Yeah. And Jesus shows us that when we acknowledge our wrongs and we tell him we are sorry for what we did, that opens whole new revenue of life. It's like he invites us to his realm. He invites us to his heart. He doesn't, he still loves everybody. He say in the Bible, he sent rain on righteous and unrighteous, right? He blessings. But people who don't know him, they're missing multitude of blessing and just this treasure of knowing God intimately. And so when we say sorry, we can hear his voice and a bunch of blessing coming in our life and guidance and directions. And,
the problem is that people who have been in this nasty entanglement have the lies. They've experienced this false reality that any time that they have listened to their heart, felt bad for some behavior that they've done that actually is destructive and been willing to say they're sorry, it has been used against them.
Yes.
Okay. And that they have been condemned even further. It hasn't hasn't brought resolution.
Yeah.
And so the belief is it doesn't bring resolution, it just brings more pain.
And will not. And with narcissists, it will not.
It will not. But that's a false reality.
Yes.
The real reality that we have to somehow begin to experience with the Lord is that when in a loving relationship, when Jesus says, "Come to me," lay your burdens down. Basically, be honest with me. Tell me whatever you need to say. It's okay with me. You're safe. When we say we're sorry to the Lord or to a person who truly loves you, that builds relationship. It builds honor because we were courageous enough or vulnerable enough to say we were sorry. It does not bring condemnation. The Lord does not condemn us when we come to him and say, "Man, I blew it, and I don't want to go that way. Please help me." All we receive is love. All we receive is, and we receive the healing that we need. Feeling guilt is a good thing. It drives us to go back to what is right. It's like what pain is to the body, guilt is to the soul. Pain is telling you something's wrong. And guilt is a pain in your soul that's telling you, "Oh, that's not what I had for you, child." It's like the Holy Spirit saying, that's not the right way. And if we listen to that and we learn to go back to listening to that, we can experience life. And in God's kingdom realm, in Jesus' realm, his love and the true love of another human being, it provides more life to listen to that voice and to be vulnerable and to say you're sorry. It leads to a deeper relationship with them, not the false reality.
Amen to that.